Good day and greetings from the Great White North. My name is Prickly Poo, and welcome to week 63. Uh, 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 that's pretty much it. That's all I have to say. 10 weeks out of our first year already, and I'm not making any progress. It's really shitty. I'm doing a little bit better than I was before because of I'm still doing exercise and stuff like that. But holy shit, it's been a rough couple of weeks. I do have a number of things I want to get to. First of all, though, I forgot to bring up something last week. Last week, if you remember, I had finally, when I did my weigh-in on Sunday, I had broken the 220 mark. Was that 219 point something? And then 2 days later, I was like 5 or 6 pounds heavier than that. I had a friend of mine that came down from Montreal. That's not the reason why, but we had done a whole bunch of exercisey things all day on Saturday, which I think is why I was so low. And then, of course, made up for it by being an idiot on the weekend. So my goal was on my weigh-in this Sunday was to get back down to that 219 because that's what I wanted to hit. So I did, what I could. I watched what I ate. I did go over one day, and did my exercise, did all the good stuff. Wasn't able to get down there again to 219. I was able to get close, so 221. So, but like 3 pounds, 3.5 pounds, which is still good. But the fact that I'm going like up and down and up and down and up and down, and just sort of like wobbling back and forth like an old man's balls is just really, or some other disturbing metaphor or simile. That's a simile. It's not a metaphor. Stupid. Just the fact that things are sort of going all over the place like that is really frustrating. It's getting to me. So this past weekend, on that Sunday, went way overboard, way overboard, and just almost it's weird because it's not quite like an old eating binge that I would have had because my regular intake, a year ago. A little over a year ago, was between 12 and 13,000 calories in the run of a day. This one, I cracked over 2,000 calories for the run of a day. Or no, almost 3,000, actually. I'm sorry, I'm a liar. Which I have not done in a very, very long time. And it was just like crappy, junky food, stuff I shouldn't be eating anyway. But this whole week has been really tough, like just having crazy cravings, having a really rough go of it. But someone did mention to me as well on MyFitnessPal, and she had said that it's sort of encouraging to see that there are other people out there that are still having these struggles. No matter how far we come, no matter how much weight we lose, no matter how successful we think that we're doing, we're still going to run into these days when we just kind of go, oh, you know what? Old eating habits are back for 24 hours. I'm going to eat stuff I know I shouldn't be eating, and just things are going to go horribly wrong. And it's weird because we have talked about this before where seeing that struggle is encouraging, as odd as that sounds. And she felt bad because she sort of felt like, God, this sounds really mean and nasty, saying I'm glad that I can see that. But it didn't. I didn't take it that way. She didn't mean it that way. We all understand that when we're watching someone losing weight, and you're just like, it seems so easy for them. They're saying, well, I did a 5-hour workout and I had a glass of hot water and half a lemon slice. So I was going to say lemon square, which is not the right thing. But we see that. We think like it's so easy for them. And we know it really isn't, but we never really see that side of it. So it's nice actually seeing someone that is struggling a little bit. And I mean, because we know that, they're going to get back on track. I'm going to get back on track, obviously. I feel like I keep saying this all the time. But, I mean, I think by sharing those days when you're just like, this is a really shitty day. And I know it's a shitty day. So I'm going to embrace it and say, you know what? This has been a shitty day all the way around. It's not going to break what we're doing, and it's not going to undo the 100 pounds that we've lost. It's going to undo what we've done during the week, which it kind of did. But getting back onto the wagon, so to speak, is not that difficult now. It's not the same as it was, a year ago. If I had a binge and I would say, you know what? That's it. I'm done. I'm going to just go back to my old eating habits, because I always feel shitty afterwards, and I know I can do better. And the very next day, or actually even that day, I still did some little things, but still doing the exercise, still doing my treadmill, trying something a little bit different with my treadmill as well, which I haven't done today, but still doing my 5K during the morning, and then just a leisurely 3-kilometer walk in the evening. Just sort of keep it going, and so I can round my numbers off to 10 as well. Anyway, so that was this week. I didn't quite hit that mark, but this week, hopefully, I'm going to do my weigh-in this coming Sunday. We'll see where things go from there. I hate that, though. Just wanting to hit a mark and not hitting it, and then going, okay, well, then next week, and then maybe the week after that. It is really discouraging, and you do get those old feelings. Actually, this entire week has been sort of old feelings, old visitations, old... Pick another word, I don't know what you want. Two things happened. One of which was, I forgot to tell you, I keep forgetting this, the week that my friend was down. Last weekend, I meant to talk about this. I wrote the numbers down because I forget. On day 140 in Series 1, I have something on my lip. Nope, it's fine. Unless it's on my teeth. Nope, or okay. Anyway, day 140. I told a story about going to an ice cream restaurant, which I don't think I said the name of, which rhymes with Shmiri Shmee. And I had gone in, and the person behind the counter, I had bought 2 liters of ice cream, half a gallon, 2 separate quarter-gallon tubs. And she had said, do you want a spoon? And it's just one of those moments where you think, this is a horrible, horrible feeling. For the first time since that happened, which has been 6 or 7 years probably, my friends that were down from Montreal wanted to go to this restaurant. But to the store. Restaurant. It's not a restaurant. It's a store. It's an ice cream shop. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. So we went. And I got the smallest size that they have of their signature treat called the Schmizzer. It's named after a very successful gaming company that has a movie coming out soon. Unless you're watching this much, much later. Anyway. So I got, I hadn't been there in forever, and I was like, okay, well, they have many more. I haven't had one of those probably since I was a kid, but I just got it's called a mini. It's like this big. It's teeny, teeny, tiny. But it was enough. It was nice to have. It was like something like 300 or 400 calories. It's quite high in calories, but even at that point, that was before my weigh-in when I hit 219, so things were okay. Then I just sort of, everything went to hell in a handbasket. But going in there, I told them the story, obviously, while we're waiting in line. The person who probably did it is probably long gone. I would hope so, anyway. Otherwise, that's even sadder. If you're still working at a place like that after 6 years, when you were in high school, and you're like, I graduated high school, I'm going to go back to my old summer job. But yeah, I told them that story, and it's still, even now, is like, it's a very bad feeling. And I've shared that story with other people before, but going into the actual place where it happened was really weird. But on top of that, that was last week, a week and a half ago now. But this week, well, technically last week, depending on when you're watching this, actually, it could be months and months and months away. But last week, before the weekend, on Friday, if you remember, and I wrote this one down too, on day 182, I told a story with a very, very bad word in it, the C word. You know which one I mean. Cunt. Anyway, I told a story about this when I was working with this girl, and she was driving past my house. She was my ride home. And she decided one night, enough is enough, I'm not going to give you a ride home anymore because you use up too much gas. Yes. So, remembering that's one of the more feelings that I have. But on Friday, I saw this person walk into a little service coffee area at my work. So they're now in sort of like a training class or a new hire class, whatever you want to call it, at my work. And she damn near ran into me. I was walking out one way and she was coming back in, and she was like, oh, I'm sorry, and walked out of the way. Had no idea who I was. Now, admittedly, I was probably at this stage, I don't think I was 325 pounds back then, but I was probably pushing close to 300, 275, 280, maybe. So at least another 50 pounds, but not enough that someone wouldn't recognize you. But it's the sort of thing where someone has such a strong impact on your life, even in a negative way like that. Like, that's something that has stuck with me for a very, very, very long time. And just the fact that they don't even recognize you is almost worse than them actually recognizing you and having to deal with that up front. Having them just it doesn't register that it's done anything, and chances are she doesn't even remember that it was said or what the situation was around it. She was an idiot anyway. She probably still is. God knows how the hell they got hired through there. It's weird. People get hired on, like, you have to make it through 2 interviews. You have to go on a phone interview. You have to go to an interview in person. There are a whole slew of things that people have to go through, and then you go, Jesus, how the hell did you make it in through all of this? Like, it's beyond me. Anyway, that's a rant for a different time. But yeah, so those were the 2 really sort of blasts from the past that sort of happened to me this week, which was really odd and kind of not saying that that's contributing to me eating like a pig and not, sticking to what I need to do. It's not an excuse. It's not the reason why. It was just, I've just been not doing what I need to do. That's all it is. But one thing that I did notice, and I meant to bring this up last week as well, during the time that my friends were here, I did a lot more walking. I was outside a lot more. And generally, I'm probably not alone in this, even during the middle of summer, when you're fat, we layer all the time. We aren't one of those people that's just, you know what, I'm going to wear a tank top and shorts and flip-flops because I look good. We know that we don't, so we try to conceal as much as we can. And even in the middle of winter, yes, of course I would wear layers, but in the middle of summer, I would still have like a t-shirt and then a long sleeve shirt and then a coat. And if I can, I've worn a winter coat in July. And it does, in my head, I'm thinking it's not really a winter coat. It's like a pea coat sort of thing. But it's a winter coat. Or, I have a really heavy leather jacket that I bought 2-3 years ago now. Which is baggy on me, so I need to give that away to someone. It's a 5XL, 5X or 5 extra large, whatever it is. And it's enough that the sleeves are hanging off me and stuff, which does make me feel good, but it's sort of, that was the coat I would wear during the summer, because it was big enough that it was still sort of baggy, but it was thin enough that it wasn't, like a winter coat. But when my friends were here, it was really warm, and a couple of times I just left it in my car. And being out without that extra layer, like wearing something that is just like what I would wear at work, because you can't wear a coat at work. It looks weird. But being out in public without having that extra layer of protection, even though it's pretty much a psychological layer, was really, really weird. And because we use it as a defense mechanism, really, so that it's like I try to conceal as much as I can. People can't see. And I still feel that way, but it was enough that I'm like, you know what? I'm okay enough that I can leave this in there because it's warm, and I'm just going to make myself really hot and sweaty and gross. Before, you don't care because you're always hot and sweaty and gross, so what difference does it make if it's a little bit warmer? But during the time that they were here, it was really strange because I've never done that, ever. And this may seem like something really small and insignificant, but for those of you that are out there that understand, then you know how big of a deal this is. It's not quite the same as me saying I'm just going to go out in a t-shirt, like a clingy t-shirt. I'll wear a baggy t-shirt, like if I'm home by myself and the lights are off and it's midnight. That's fine. But, going outside, no, never. I'll wear, like even at work, I'll wear just like a t-shirt and then a long sleeve shirt over it, just because you need those layers to conceal stuff so that, if something's poking out or blobbing out here or there or something like that, you can sort of pick at yourself and straighten things out and you're okay. But not having that coat was really, it was strange. After a while you're like, I'm comfortable enough that I think I'm all right. Compared to what I was like a year ago, then yes. Like, I think that's why I'm able to do it, because I can look at myself and say, all right, it's not as bad as it was a year ago, so you'll be okay. But anyway, it was just one of those other things that happened this week that, I don't know, sort of stuck out, or last week, I guess I should say, but that I forgot to bring up. Because I make all my little notes, but then I deviate from them, and I don't talk about anything. But last thing I do want to talk about, because this is, I'm going to try to keep this under 20 minutes if I can. Something weird happened this week. Rhubarb is in season. Now, I was going to bugger that up. I was actually going to start saying, for those of you that don't know what rhubarb is, then you're probably 4. Like, how do you not know what rhubarb is? Everybody knows what rhubarb is. Anyway, I had forgotten about it for a long time because it's only in season for, maybe a month. And, it's one of those things that you see at the store and you go, oh, that's right, I should probably buy some. And then you realize, well, it's, a stock that much for like $12, so it's ridiculous. But I bought a big bundle of it because I haven't had it in a really, really long time. And I've been craving sour stuff, like sour jujubes and stuff like that. So I think, you know what? I never even thought of that. We didn't deal with that when we were doing our year, which we really should have. It would be a really good alternative for anything sour because it's super, super sour. Well, the stuff I got isn't great, but it's good enough. The problem is that because it's not great, it's not super, super sour. And I think that the sour is sort of a mixture of a couple of things because the acid level in it must be fine because as of now and as of yesterday actually I have no taste buds. It's been really weird all day today. I took a drink of water. When you like the skin of a grape, that tannin, how it dries your mouth out. My entire face is like that right now. My entire mouth is dry. I can't seem to fix it. It's been 24 hours since I've had rhubarb. I've brushed my teeth countless times. I've brushed my tongue. I've tried to rinse my mouth out. Every time I take a drink of water, I don't taste anything. I just taste that tannin throughout everything. And throughout the run of the day, it's been like that. I had a coffee. I tasted just like dry, everything. And you would think that that would be something that is, well, that should help. I'm not tasting anything, so I don't have any cravings for anything bad. I can eat regular stuff. Nope. Still having the cravings. Those are just as bad. But when I did my chicken stir fry thing. With tons and tons of vegetables and a shitload of like garlic and spices and herbs because it has an H, and just a ton of stuff on it. So and I can't taste anything. I know it's there. I don't know what sort of damage is being done to my stomach right now, but when I ate it, it was okay. It was bland, but I knew it was there. It's really weird. And even when I'm talking to you, like the part of my tongue, it feels really, really dry. That was gross. Yeah. But it's just, you know what I mean? It's that dryness, but not actual dryness, if that makes any sense. Like if you drink wine or grapes, I find do that. Like if you get, rhubarb is like this, and I think it's the acid and whatever it does. It's actually like a desiccant. It just sort of sucks everything out of your tongue. But I think I may have done some taste bud damage, which is fine. They'll be back in a few days. It'll be okay. But in the meantime, part of me is thinking I'd like to sort of take advantage of this and say, great, okay, so I can't taste anything, so I might as well just cut way back on a whole slew of stuff because everything is really muted. That's probably the best way to put it. When I try something, it doesn't taste like if I was to eat an onion. It wouldn't taste like an onion. It would register in my head. Okay, well that's like an onion flavor. But it's just not there. So I might use that over the next couple of days until they grow back. But other than that, my tongue's all buzzy. I was going to say fuzzy, or not really fuzzy, but tingly. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. So anyway, whole bunch of weird shit. So tongue damage. So hopefully I can use that to my advantage somehow from rhubarb. But I still have tons of rhubarb, so I'm probably going to do it again. Because rhubarb is really, really, really good. It's just that sour is really good. These are kind of limp and floppy and gross and everything else. Not really gross, but it's not like celery crispy rhubarb. It's kind of, it's okay. It's probably why it was really, really cheap. Because I got it was like $2 or $3 a pound or something, which you can get a lot for that. But yeah, so tongue is destroyed for now anyway. I brought you up to speed on my weight, which was really discouraging, but I'm going to keep trying and keep doing what I'm doing and try to break that 220 again. Then the stupid idiot from work, hate her guts, hate her face. I'm still really bitter about that. Doesn't take much, and I know, again, she's probably... no, she's not. I was going to say she's a nice person. She's probably not. If you're doing that, you're an asshole. Anyway, and then the going back to the shop, which was really weird. Whole bunch of stuff from my past all coming back in, which was really weird throughout the run of the week. But hopefully, I've dealt with it. Things are good. I have not crashed too bad. Have had a rough day, a couple of rough days throughout the week so far, but not enough, I think, to sort of undo what I'm doing and keep going. I know, again, it feels like I'm saying this every single week. But I feel like I haven't been making as much progress. I'm still making progress with exercise, so that makes me feel better. If I was completely stagnant or going backwards, and just having like day after day after day of just junk food and candy and gross stuff all the time, then yes, I'd feel bad. But I'm not. I'm okay. I had a few uncontrollable days when things went horribly, horribly tits up, but we'll be okay. We have those days. We've talked about that before. We all have them. We're all going to have them, and they will happen again. Months down the road, I may have another one. I know it's going to happen, but, we've come a long, long way, and it's not going to ever really be enough for us to sort of go back to where we were before, before a year ago when we started all this stuff. Things have slowed down, but they haven't stopped. So that's the main thing. I'm going to keep on going, keep on losing. It's going to take a long time, I think, to get to where I need to be. But I think these are really two of the worst things that probably could have met me, or like going back. Having those two things in quick succession, I should say, would be like that's really the worst of it. That dread feeling the feeling of dread that you have when you think, it's going to be bad, and then it happens, you're like, oh, it's not all that bad. So it's sort of been dealt with. I'm sure she's going to, if at some point she decides to talk to me, I'm really hoping she asks me for a ride home, and I'm going to say no, because you'll use up too much gas. Yay. And then I'll feel good. And I'll feel guilty. And I'll feel sad because I was an asshole to someone. But she deserves it. I don't care. People like that, they deserve it. Screw them. Anyway, that's it. So I have gone on for far, far too long on this one. But not under 20, but we're going to keep it under 25. So we're good that way. So thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, please poke the like button for me. In the meantime, keep yourself warm and fuzzy. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.